Greetings everyone, this is Connor from Dagora TV, and in this video I'm talking about my Bethesda E3 2019 predictions. So as you all know, we're getting to that time of year again where it's E3, all the announcements are coming, all the news is happening for the year ahead, and it's a bit different this year. It's a smaller E3, no Sony there this year, well not a press conference anyway, so it's definitely much more limited E3. But for this channel it's still very much relevant because Bethesda is still holding their E3 showcase. This time it's on Sunday the 9th of June, 5:30 PM Pacific time, 8:30 PM Eastern Coast time, and Monday the 10th of June, 1:30 AM British Standard Time, so it's a bit of an early one for us on Monday morning, but it's been worse in the past, so it's not too bad this year, I'd say. So what I thought I'd set this video out is obviously starting off with what we can expect. That's from announcements that they've said pre-E3, which has been a limited amount of this year in comparison to other years, and also predicting the announcements from the games as well later on in the what we can guess what hasn't been announced yet or hasn't teased or anything at all. And like I said, there's been a real lack of pre-E3 announcements from Bethesda. Normally, there's a trailer, you know, like we had for Fallout 4, the first one that they did, probably their best showcase, that first one, or Fallout 76 last year, or they just come out and say Dishonored 2 is happening, so then the year after we can expect everything's going to happen, or they release an image that's teasing things. There's not really any of that happening so far for Bethesda's press conference, so a lot of it's kind of expected, but then there's a couple of things I've snuck in there as well, and they've confirmed a few things that definitely won't be at the show, so we'll definitely go through that. So by all means, let's get on with it, what we can expect off the bat. So let's start off with id Software, which is probably going to be the biggest part of the showcase, as Rage 2's just come out, so they're probably going to talk about that a bit. It just came out last month. They could probably tease an expansion for it or some form of DLC for it. I'm not sure if they'll do that yet with it coming out so soon, but they're definitely going to show some gameplay. I presume they will do, you know, with the game coming out so recently, for it to come out later this year, be a bit off into the future, or maybe they might hold that back for QuakeCon or something like that. And speaking of QuakeCon, Quake Champions, I'm sure they'll talk about that to some small extent, you know, part of some of the other games that they talk about lightly in the showcase that they've done in previous years. But the main game, by all means, is going to be Doom Eternal. Definitely the most anticipated game. They're teasing it already E3 with the big billboards they've got out that they're making. We had the malarkey last year with Fallout 76, and it seems to be Doom is taking that place this year. The last Doom was fantastic, and this one looks to be great from the little smatterings of gameplay that we've seen and what we can expect for id Software. Yesterday there was details, yesterday for me recording this video, this could be the day before yesterday for you, but there was details of Google Stadia, and that Doom Eternal is going to be on that, and with 4K support, so by all means there's definitely going to be on a wide variety of platforms, so yeah, I think we should get a full release for it for this year. We know that it's coming out in 2019. I don't think the game is going to be delayed. We'll probably get some more gameplay of it and a demo showcasing some of the new soundtrack that's going to be for it and everything. But if I had to guess a release date, I'd probably say September, October time. Maybe November at a push, but you know, end of Q3, Q4 this year is what I think we can expect for Doom Eternal. And by all means, that'll be a day one buy for me. I cannot wait for that game to come out. I love the last Doom. I think it's fantastic, and the soundtrack and everything, the aesthetic of that game is brilliant, so I can't wait to see more of that. That's really what I'm most looking forward to, I'd say, from this conference, is the Doom Eternal release date. ZeniMax Online Studios have just released Elsewhere, their third major expansion for The Elder Scrolls Online on June 4th. It's gone down very well. I've yet to get my hands on it. I'm just actually doing the prologue stuff that they have for it in-game. I've been playing through that recently with a friend, so I'm looking forward to be able to get this DLC in the near future. But on the launch, they've teased E3, so I was thinking that with that just coming out, we're maybe not going to hear from them this year. They tend to be at every single E3 showcase that Bethesda do. So I thought maybe this one might be the first one they give a miss, or just maybe a little video just teasing things or so on. That still might be the case. But they've put on their launcher saying, watch the Bethesda showcase at E3 to find out what's coming next from us. So maybe it's going to be the next part of the Elsewhere expansion, because I believe it's part of the Season of the Dragon content. There's 3 pieces of major expansion content coming from in that Season of the Dragon, so it could be outlining that, a trailer, or showing some new dungeons that are coming into it or something, some light DLC maybe, we'll have to see, but they said they're going to be showing what's coming next, so by all means we'll have to look out for that from ZeniMax. Machinegames and Wolfenstein Youngblood, we know that the release date for that game is July 26th, so we're probably going to get some more gameplay for that, and probably another trailer, just, you know, to showcase it, to try and get everyone excited. And Peter Hines has already confirmed that Wolfenstein 3 is happening, so maybe get an official showing from them, maybe. I wouldn't count the chickens on that one, because In my opinion, I think it's a bit early for Bethesda to be kind of doing stuff like that. I know that with Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 last year, they announced it early, but there was just a teaser trailer, and then they said they're going to go away for a while. Whereas with the other studios, they tend to go on the policy of when they announce the game or showcase the game properly, it's going to be nearly out soon. And I don't see Wolfenstein 3 coming out for a good while yet. Maybe not this generation. It could be at the end of this generation, but I think that Wolfenstein 3 could leak into the next console generation. So I don't know we'll get a showing from that just as yet. But hopefully we do, because I love Wolfenstein, and more Wolfenstein for me would be absolutely fantastic. And finish off on the stuff that we already can expect off the bat is Bethesda Game Studios. We know Fallout 76 is going to be there, and we know Todd's going to talk about the roadmap for the year regarding Fallout 76. It might not be Todd, it might be the studio head of the Austin studio who come out on stage to do that, talking about some of the stuff that's going to be happening with that game in the future. And there's rumours of a Battle Royale announcement coming as a part of the Nuclear Winter update, so hopefully we'll get some news on that. I never thought I'd see a Battle Royale mode in a Bethesda Game Studios game, but by all means, sure, if they want to do that, that's fine. But Fallout 76 is in a position where they're going to have to win back the thoughts of the player base. You know, people have left that game a long time ago now. People weren't happy with it, had a poor launch, and this is their real big shot to try and convince people to come back, to showcase what improvements they've made, to show people who are really enjoying the game and so on and so forth. They've got a lot to prove. Probably their most important part of the showcase is Fallout 76 in regards to winning people over. So we're going to have to see how that looks like, their roadmap for it, and what they're going to show is going to be coming out for the future. But yeah, the Battle Royale mode as part of the Nuclear Winter update, if that is true, it's going to be interesting to see the reaction to that, because I feel like there's a little bit of Battle Royale fatigue now in the gaming community. So maybe Bethesda might have just missed the book on that when they could have done it really well. We'll have to wait and see. What we also know from Bethesda Game Studios, though, is not to expect any of the Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield to be at the showcase. This has been confirmed a couple of times now by Todd. He confirmed it first at the PAX East panel. I think it was PAX East when they did the celebration of Elder Scrolls, and Todd came out and said, don't expect to hear about Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield at the coming E3. Starfield, we can expect at its earliest 2020, but if I had to put my prediction on it, I'm saying 2021, and then the Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be 2 years at the earliest after that, but more than likely 3 or 4 years after that point when we'll hear about that game again, or some real substantial information about that game again, I should say. So don't expect to hear either of their names call out at E3 this year. They've been confirmed not to be at the showcase. What we can also expect, though, is maybe a PC date for the Elder Scrolls Blades, the free-to-play phone game that Bethesda Game Studios released earlier this year. I really like Blades, to be fair. I know there was a couple of issues early on with timers to do with chests and things like that, and a couple of pay-to-win aspects of the game. But for me, honestly, it's just a fun game to play for 10-15 minutes and then move on with the rest of my day. And if it comes out on PC, compatible with the profile that I've got on my phone, I'm happy with that. I'll happily log onto it for 10-15 minutes while something's rendering or something like that on my PC. That's cool for me. And then also the PvP for it as well, to announce another mode for that they've expected, get a release date for that, hopefully should be out this year. And then maybe some other online features for it as well, you know, like visiting other people's towns that they've talked about before and things like that. So some Blade stuff I think we should expect. So now I've got that stuff out of the way, I've kind of got two, I'd say, big predictions that I think will happen. I've gave my minor one earlier in the showcase earlier in this video, so of what could happen in the showcase. The Wolfenstein 3 might get official showing. I say that's my maybe. But the two biggest predictions, and I've got one more maybe to give at the end, but the biggest one I've got is Tango Gameworks showcasing their new game. Probably going to be the Evil Within 3, and if I had to guess, probably a October 2019 or early November release date. Something around Halloween would be a good idea for the Evil Within 3. Tango Gameworks been away now a little while, I think since 2016, so 3 years since the last game. I think now's the time to showcase the Evil Within 3 to everyone, and then we'll see how well that does. I'm not an Evil Within guy. I'm not really interested in that kind of thing. I'm not a huge fan of horror myself personally, so this is not necessarily for me, but there's a lot of Evil Within fans that will want a third game to come out, so by all means Tango will be doing something, and I think they'll be showing that off. And also the next one I think is maybe a possible surprise that I think will happen is I think it's time to get Arcane Game Studios' next major project. We know that there's really two teams at Arcane. We know that there's the Prey team. I think they're in France, if I'm correct on that. I think they're in France who made Prey. And then there's the Sonic team, which I think is the larger team, and they're on the east coast of the US. And I think they have another one in Canada, I believe. I'm not entirely certain on that. I'm pretty sure about the France and America one, though. I'm not sure about the Canada. I think I heard that somewhere. there. But anyway, the Dishonored 2 team, really the bulk of their team has really moved on after Dishonored 2 came out. But a lot of the team obviously worked on Death of the Outsider. It came out in 2017. So it's been 2 years since that came out and 3 years at the end of this year for when Dishonored 2 came out. So maybe I think it's the time's right for them to announce their new project. I don't necessarily think that the release date may be this year. It could leak into the early parts of next year, a little bit like how Rage 2 went into the early stages of the year after. I think that's probably what's going to happen with this, but I think the time is right for them to showcase a new project. I don't think it'll be Dishonored 3. I think it will be a new IP, but with the engine that Dishonored 2 used. That's my prediction for it. I think that it'll look really cool. I'm interested to see what they can make, because I really liked Dishonored 2. I preferred Dishonored 1, I'd say, because I felt like Dishonored 2's story was a little bit weaker than the first Dishonored game. But I'd be more than happy to see how they would approach taking a new IP again, seeing what's going to be different from the games that they've done in the past, from that specific team, the Dishonored team in particular. So by all means, that's what I think could be shown. I think that's a prediction I think that personally will happen, but by all means, it would still be surprised if they come on stage to showcase what they've got. And the last announcement, the prediction I've got, is maybe a third-party studio coming off and showcasing another game. You know, like we had with Avalanche last year with Rage 2, that seems to have paid off quite well for Bethesda. So maybe they want to branch out again and get another third-party studio to come into Bethesda and showcase another game. That is something that I think is an out-there prediction that I don't necessarily think will happen, but I'm just throwing it out there just in case it does, so that I can look back at this video and say that I'm right. So I think that maybe that's a chance, but the big ones I think we should definitely expect of announcements that we don't necessarily expect is the Tango Gameworks announcement and the Arcane new IP. So, let me know what you think of these predictions. Let me know if you've got any other E3 predictions in there. By all means, I look forward to hearing them, and I'll reply to your comments below. So then also, watch the E3 showcase from Bethesda. That's going to be on Sunday, June 9th, 5:30 PM Pacific, 8:30 PM Eastern, or 1:30 AM on the Monday, British Standard Time, or British Summer Time, I think that is. So yeah, by all means, watch that, and then I'll be back with another video talking about that showcase and everything that they've announced with it, and I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.